8bitdo mod kit. Does it work? Is it worth it? Is it hard to put together? Let's find out. Alright, this is what you get in the mail. It's a box. It has stuff in it, I think. Only one way to find out. This is what an NES controller looks like. I have a couple of them, so I'm going to take one of the better looking ones that has a better gasket and is less squishy. They also make a mod kit for the dog bone controller, but I'm going to leave that one intact. So I'm just going to remove the crappy controller in the dog bone one, and we're going to work on this one. Let's use the world's tiniest knife to open the box. Success. If it all goes this easy, I'm going to be pretty happy. We got instructions. I'm going to ignore those for the most part, but on one side it does tell you how to pair stuff. That's kind of helpful. We've got a bubble wrap bag, and that's what's in the box. Crack this open. There's a static free bag for the PC board, a USB cable, and a screwdriver. This is really, really tiny. Like really tiny. We got a power end, we got a USB end, plug, plug, plug. Put that aside for a little bit. Inside the static free bag is going to be the PC board that we're actually going to be switching out. It's about the exact same size as the one in the NES controller, which is kind of the point. You got the up, down, left, right for the D-pad side, and let's get right in there. So the screwdriver is actually pretty solid. I've had a lot of free screwdrivers that were just very, very flimsy, but this has a good feel to it, slightly above the normal quality. So let's skip ahead to the last screw on the back so you don't have to see all of them. Alright, the last screw on the back is taken out. Gingerly remove the cord and PC board, or don't, doesn't matter, you won't be using them again. You can pretend you will, but you won't. So, get that out of the side. Make sure you have all the rubber gaskets. Sometimes they stick to the PC board, the old one, like in this case. So just make sure you grab that and they're all attached. There's the D-pad one. Take that off. Align that back up. Make sure you've got the side with the D-pad aligned with the D-pad you're putting it on. Yep, right there. It's right about now that I wish I had changed the angle of my camera. But I'm not going to go back and fix it due to what many call laziness. That fits in pretty good. It might take a little bit of wiggling around, making sure everything's aligned up. But it's a pretty simple process. The only thing kind of tricky is making sure you've got the small plastic thing that is actually how you charge it aligned to the hole where the controller cord used to be. That'll definitely take a little finagling around. Another angle of what's going on. I'm just pressing the buttons to make sure everything's aligned and feels right. That way I don't have to unscrew it again later. There. I finally get everything aligned, and you just put the back on. Nope, that's not the right way. Flip it around. I may not be able to pursue that career in hand modeling that I've always desired, but I'll learn to live with that disappointment. There we go. Nice and secure. We're just going to put those 6 screws that we took out before back in. If you've done everything right, they should go right back in. If you've done something terribly wrong, you will only have 5 screws left. That means you've lost one. Again, solid screwdriver. I'll be keeping this one. And then there's the last one. Feels good, looks good. Buttons all test out right. Show you how this plugs in with the amazingly tiny USB controller. Now this is how you're going to charge it. If you press the start button and a direction, you can turn it on just to make sure it glows. So hit start and left and it'll blink. You're still going to want to actually charge it for a little bit before doing everything else. Now I had to update the firmware of my 8bitdo receiver because it would not pair. So I went from 1.22 to 1.36. That may be the reason you run into some trouble if you're having trouble pairing it. Just make sure you have the latest firmware. Go right to 8bitdo's website. Once you've done that, it's a breeze though. You just hit the start and B button. That turns on the controller. Hold down select for about 3 seconds. That puts it into pairing mode. Tap the pairing button on the receiver. Once it's solid, it means you're all hooked up. That means I gotta try out some Mario 3 just to make sure the controller works. Feels good, feels solid, feels responsive. This is probably going to be the way I'm playing from now on. Yeah? So is it worth it? Well, it's 20 bucks and another 19 for shipping. If you have controllers, it might not be the most cost-effective way, but for me, it's a welcome addition to the family. I'd say go out and buy one.